Sri Lankan lamb dry fry curry is a delightful dish that perfectly captures the essence of the island's flavors. Tender lamb pieces slow cooked until they melt in your mouth and are super tender, all enveloped in a fragrant blend of aromatic spices that include cinnamon, cardamom and cloves, amongst others. In addition of garlic and ginger that gives it a nice zesty kick, while curry leaves and pandan leaves create a warm and inviting aroma that lingers in the air. This is incredible. Let's get moving. Okay, so we're going to get some spices together. A teaspoon each here of black mustard seeds, fennel seeds, fenugreek, 4 green cardamoms, nice piece of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of cloves, a teaspoon of black peppercorns, and a teaspoon of cumin seeds. I've got 1 kg, which is 2.2 pounds of lamb here. Very little bone. We're going to add a teaspoon each of salt, pepper, turmeric and chili powder. And then we're going to add some unroasted curry powder. 3 teaspoons of that. Very simply, we're going to give that a mix and then we can get over to the cooker. So I'm starting this off obviously with coconut oil. Coconut oil is very important in the country. I've got about 4 tablespoons there. We're going to start by dropping in all of our lovely whole spices that we just saw. We're on an above medium heat. We're going to give that a little whiz around. We want to infuse the oil with those spices. Next up, we're going to be adding our pandan leaves and curry leaves. Now, pandan leaves and curry leaves are super essential, and it's in nearly every dish in the country. So if you can get hold of it, it's absolutely marvelous. Again, a little whiz around to infuse everything. You've already got the smell of Sri Lanka in that pot right now. Those spices and the pandan leaves and the curry leaves with the coconut oil. Wow. Okay, here we go. Let's get in 1 cup of onion. I've sliced mine. We're also going to add now a tablespoon of ginger and garlic, which I've crushed up. Staying on this medium heat, or slightly above medium heat actually. We're going to go for like 4 minutes just to kind of soften the onions a little bit. Okay, let's get our seasoned meat in there. To that, I'm going to add 1 cup of fresh tomato. And we're going to cook that for about 8 or 9 minutes. Okay, next up, fresh chili to taste. Up to you what you want to put in. Just slip them down the middle, in they go. A teaspoon of black pepper. Roasted curry powder this time, about 4 teaspoons. They were slightly heaped, I think, anyway. That's going to give it a really beautiful flavor. The combo of the roasted and the unroasted is incredible. Again, little mix around. I want to just cook those spices out just for like 2 to 3 minutes, so keep stirring on this now. And the next stage is very simply, we're now going to add in cold water. I'm going to put in about 800 or 900 ml, enough to kind of cover it. So what we're doing here is we're going to now cook this again on an above medium heat with the lid on for about 30 minutes. You can give it a stir every now and then. We really want to get this meat nice and soft. And that is looking absolutely delightful. So the next stage here is we now need to reduce the moisture down. So we're going to turn the heat up fairly high now. The meat's already fairly tender. With the lid off, we're going to cook it and cook it and cook it till it steams out, and you end up with this beautiful reduced down meat, as you can see there. That is really delicious. Check it for salt, it's fine for me. The only thing I'm going to do now is just drop a few pandan leaves in there and give it a mix. Job done. You've got yourself a fantastic dry fry spicy curried lamb or mutton. With its diverse landscapes ranging from towering mountains to lush rainforests and stunning beaches, each corner of this enchanting island invites both relaxation and adventure. The rich tapestry of Sri Lankan history adds depth to its beauty, offering a glimpse into its fascinating past. And let's not forget about Sri Lanka's absolutely wonderful food that is bursting with vibrant spices, curries, crispy hoppers, and much, much more. Add to this the incredible locals who make you feel so welcome. This kaleidoscope of cultures feels like a celebration of life. Today, we will be making a pork curry. So I've got pork leg here. You could use belly pork or any other part of pork that you want. I've got 700 grams. I've just cubed that up, as you can see. We're just gonna get some spices on that. So I'm gonna start off with a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, and then 4 teaspoons of roasted Sri Lankan curry powder. We're gonna give that a little mix, and then we can just pop that in the fridge. Let's take a look at some of the other ingredients. So I've got 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 1 of black mustard seeds, 1 of fenugreek, and a nice piece of cinnamon. A teaspoon each of chili powder and turmeric, and then a cup of tomatoes, onions, and in that bowl on the left I've got rampa or pandan and curry leaves. Also 1 tablespoon of garlic and ginger. Coconut oil in the pan, about 2 tablespoons, not too much. What we're going to do is we're going to drop in all of our whole spices and just give that little whiz for a few seconds. We're on an above medium heat here. Next up, let's get in our fresh pandan leaves and our curry leaves, along with the 1 cup of onion that I've sliced and the 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic. A little mix. I want to go just for a couple of minutes, soften the onions slightly. Beautiful. Next up, let's grab that pork that we've seasoned and get that in. Some fresh chili to taste, entirely up to you how much you put in. And then we're gonna stir fry this around for about 7 or 8 minutes. We're gonna be stirring fairly often. So once we kind of got the meat on its way, we're now going to add some salt, the turmeric and the chili powder. We're going to stir this for just like 30 seconds or so, just kind of mix it in there. Okay, fabulous. So next up we're going to go with that 1 cup of tomatoes. I've kind of diced them fairly small. Want them to kind of cook down and really help with the masala or the gravy. And then to that I'm going to add 400 ml of cold water. Staying on this above medium heat. We're going to cook this for another 8 or 9 minutes. You can see the tomatoes have broken down and our meat is well on its way. Next up, let's get a few more bits in. Two teaspoons here of chili flakes. Again, you can eyeball this and adjust it how you want. I like a little bit of spice, you know. More of the roasted curry powder, about 3 teaspoons. Another little mix. We're going to cook that for about 5 or 6 minutes, just like that. Absolutely delicious. Now we go with coconut milk. 400 ml again of coconut milk. A little stir. We're going to lower the heat now, not to a simmer, but just above a simmer. We're going to pop a lid on this and we're going to let it go for 20-25 minutes. You can give it a stir every now and then. Okay, let's take a look now. Look at that. Really, really delicious. That is really delicious. The coconut milk's kind of reduced down a little bit. Thickened nicely. The meat is beautifully cooked. So good, so good. Little adjustment with the salt level. Little mix in. On a high heat now, just for like 3 or 4 minutes, just to kind of thicken it up just a little bit, just kind of reduce it down. And that's beautiful, ready to serve. You've got yourself a fantastic, beautiful, spicy, but kind of balanced out with the coconut milk curry. Divine. Sri Lankan chicken curry is more than just a delicious meal. It's a delightful journey into the heart of Sri Lanka's rich heritage. This island nation, nestled in the vibrant contours of South Asia, is famed for its distinctive spices. Think aromatic cinnamon, warming cardamom, and golden turmeric. When combined with the lusciousness of fresh coconut, it transforms an ordinary chicken dish into an extraordinary experience. So we're going to start this chicken curry with 1 kg, which is 2.2 pound of chicken. The bone is in and there's no skin. The skin has been removed. We're going to add to that 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and 4 teaspoons of unroasted curry powder. We're going to give that a mix and we can just set that aside. We're also going to need 1 teaspoon of black mustard seeds and 1 teaspoon of fenugreek. We're going to start this off, of course, with coconut oil, about 4 tablespoons. We're going to be dropping in our black mustard seeds and our fenugreek. We're on an above medium heat at the moment. We're going to just infuse that a little bit, and we're going to add the pandan leaves and the fresh curry leaves. Then we're going to be adding 1 cup of chopped onion. You can slice it if you want, chop it, however you like. We're going to cook this for about 3 minutes. Stir often. Next up, we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic and ginger and 1 cup of fresh tomatoes, roughly cut. We need to continue cooking on this above medium heat for about 4 to 5 minutes. We want the tomatoes to soften. Beautiful. Okay, so a little cinnamon stick in there. Also fresh chili to taste, entirely up to you how much you want to put in. Give that a little mix in. We've got some beautiful aromatics happening in this pot right now. Okay, we can now add our chicken that's been seasoned. So we're going to drop that in, and we're going to cook that again on this above medium heat for around 5 to 6 minutes. Give it a stir every now and then. So this is coming along beautifully. Next up. Next up, we're going to be adding some cold water. I'm going to be adding about 900 ml in total. You want just enough to kind of just slightly cover it. We're going to let this go now for 15 to 20 minutes. Give it a little stir every now and then. We are well on our way. We're going to add a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper powder, some more chili powder. I'm going to go with 1 teaspoon. You could add a little bit more if you wanted. And then we're going to be adding roasted curry powder, which is absolutely delicious. Going to give it a nice deep color and texture and taste. About 4 teaspoons of that. We go for another little mix. We're going to lower the heat down to just below a medium, I would say. And we're going to let this go now for about 15 to 20 minutes. Absolutely fantastic. 1 cup of coconut milk goes in now, and then we're going to lower the heat to a simmer, let it go just for another 5 or 6 minutes. The only thing to do is to finish it off with either some pandan leaves and fresh curry leaves. You got yourself a really beautiful chicken curry. I hope you enjoy this Sri Lankan chicken curry as much as I have loved living and spending so much beautiful time in Sri Lanka. I'll see you soon. So before you see me make some pole sambol, I thought I'd share this with you, which is a kind of village style. This woman's making it village style really, and what she's going to be using, you're going to see in a moment, is this huge kind of stone that she uses. Well, two stones, a flat stone and a kind of oblong type thing. Now I obviously don't have one of them, and I presume that you don't have one of them, but I thought I'd just show you this. So pole sambol is a coconut kind of relish, which is kind of used with everything really, or you can use it with everything. It's got chili flakes in it, salt, lime juice, onions, and Maldives fish. Now we did make a version of this earlier in the series, which didn't contain the Maldives fish. It was a kind of vegan, vegetarian version. The Maldives fish is a kind of chipped, dry fish, and I'm not going to tell you kind of how much to put in this, because you kind of adjust it yourself. Like if you like lots of coconut, then put a lot more coconut in it. If you like lots of chili, do that. But yeah, it's a really, really delicate, beautiful kind of condiment that you can have with rice and curry and pretty much everything. I really, really love it. Let's just spend a little more time watching this wonderful woman traditionally do that on the stone, and then we'll get over to me just making some for you. So fresh coconut is pretty essential to this. I've never made it with dried coconut, although I have seen some people do it. I don't think it's going to work out. So a fresh grated coconut, and then what you're going to need some Maldives fish, which, like I say earlier, is a kind of dried chipped fish, very popular in Sri Lanka. Chili flakes. Now chili flakes, usually it has quite a lot of chili flakes in it, you know what I mean? It's like kind of 3 parts of coconut to 2 parts of the chili, but that's entirely up to you. A little bit of salt you're gonna need some onion, you're gonna need some lime juice, and if you want, you could put fresh chili in this as well. Some people put fresh chili in. Very simply, we're just gonna kind of get it into my wooden, as you can see, I've got my wooden implement here, and then we're going to just bash the bloody life out of it. That's what you do. You need to really, really get in there and go for it. So entirely up to you how much you put in, adjust it exactly how you like. It might take you a few goes, but it's really, really worth it just to get it exactly how you want, and it's just a wonderful thing, this stuff. Like I just love it. I'm happy to eat this for breakfast, lunch and dinner. I'll just eat it all day. Really, really simple. Get it all together. That's it. Job done. You've got yourself some fantastic pole sambol. I hope you enjoy that. So 1 year in Sri Lanka, how's it been? Well, I've got to tell you, it's been absolutely fantastic. The weather's great, of course. The beaches are truly amazing. The people have just been so friendly, really sort of welcomed me and my family into the country, and they've just been over helpful, quite frankly. And of course, look, the food I think is absolutely amazing. I've truly loved the food here. So yeah, my time's coming to an end pretty soon, and we've still got a few more episodes in the series, but we'll be moving on to another place. I'll let you know that very soon. But yeah, at the moment, Sri Lanka. If you haven't been here, why bloody not? Get yourself over to Sri Lanka. Put it on your bucket list. Sri Lanka is a destination that genuinely deserves a spot on your travel bucket list. With breathtaking landscapes, including lush tea plantations, pristine beaches, and overall stunning natural beauty. The island is rich in history and culture, boasting ancient temples, colonial architecture, and a diverse wildlife. Whether you're exploring the bustling markets of Colombo or the serene ruins of ancient temples, each moment spent in Sri Lanka is a memory waiting to be made. I've been living full-time now in Sri Lanka for about 1 year, and I'm here for the food, the culture, and of course the amazing weather. It has been wonderful. Today, we're gonna make a classic tuna fish curry. So you can see that I've got a lovely piece, or 2 pieces of tuna. That's 1 kg, which is 2.2 pound. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cube it up into kind of like bite-sized pieces, and then we're going to get some seasoning on that. I'm going to be adding a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper powder, and 1 teaspoon of raw or uncooked curry powder. I'm going to give that a little mix, and then we can just set that aside for a moment. So let's look at some spices. We've got some cinnamon there, a teaspoon of black mustard seeds, a teaspoon of fenugreek, 4 green cardamoms. We're also going to need a medium onion, a tablespoon of garlic, ginger, some pandan leaves, and some, of course, curry leaves. And also 1 cup of fresh tomato. About 3 or 4 tablespoons of coconut oil I'm using in the pan, and off we go. So in goes all of our beautiful whole spices, the cinnamon, fenugreek, and black mustard seeds, the cardamom. We're on an above medium heat. We just want to kind of infuse that oil with these spices. 60-70 seconds only, and then we're going to add in our fresh pandan leaves and our curry leaves. Both pandan leaves and curry leaves are really essential for Sri Lankan cooking. Again, that's going to infuse the oil, give it such a distinctive flavour. So now time for that onion. We don't need a lot of onion really. I mean, a cup of onions, definitely enough. We're also going to add the garlic ginger, a tablespoon of that, which is a 50-50 mix. I kind of, peeled it and then I just crushed it up. Little mix there. Again, we're staying on this above medium heat at this stage. We'll just cook those onions for like 3 or 4 minutes just so they kind of soften a little. Next up, we're going to be adding in our tomato. Just slice that up. You can chop it however you want really. It's going to kind of really cook and break down. I didn't show you this earlier, but some fresh green chili, always good in there. If you're going to do that, slit them down the middle. I mean, optional, but I like that there. Again, we're going to cook this for a few minutes, just like 3 or 4 minutes, just kind of let it soften the tomatoes slightly. You need to be stirring quite often here. Okay, we're going to add some more salt. So it's about a teaspoon of salt and black pepper. And then we're going to be adding some roasted curry powder. In Sri Lanka, you get unroasted and roasted. So we're going to add 4 teaspoons of that and 2 teaspoons of chili powder. The roasted ones are much kind of darker and will kind of really colour the tuna once it's done. It kind of gives it that kind of blackening kind of look. We want to mix this around, very briefly. We don't want to let them burn. If the spices burn, they become very bitter, so keep it moving there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add in some water. I'm adding cold water, 500 ml of cold water. We're going to drop that in. We're going to let that cook just for like 3 or 4 minutes just to get some sort of heat through it. And then very simply we're going to be adding in our seasoned tuna fish. That will all go in. The lid will go on. And we're going to cook that on this same heat for around 15 minutes. So there's our beautiful seasoned fish. In that goes, little stir, lid on, about 15 minutes. No need to stir it or anything, you can just leave it alone. The next step after that is we're going to remove the lid. We're going to increase the heat to maximum. I just want to cook it out for maybe 7 or 8 minutes, just to kind of reduce it down a little bit with the lid off. It will kind of thicken, color will get kind of deeper, and then it's job done. The only thing to do then is I just finish that off with some fresh curry leaves, and this is ready to serve. This is an absolute classic, and it really is delicious, really delicious.